Welcome back. So now let's look at what we will cover in this course. Firstly, we'll take a look at what is a website, the types of websites, and more. Then we'll look at what you need to create a website. Then we'll go on to choosing a domain name and web hosting. And then we'll look at creating your first website using WordPress. We'll look at installation, how to install WordPress, then the basic setup that you need, and more. Then we'll go on to applying WordPress themes, importing site pages, and using plugins. Then next, we'll look at integrating payment to your website using Paystack. After that, we'll look at search engine optimization. This involves setting up your website in such a way that when people search on Google and other search engines, your website can easily pop up. Next, we'll look at setting up your business on Google. And finally, we'll wrap things up. So, if you are excited and ready to learn, go grab a bowl of popcorn or akara and your favorite drink, and let's turn you into a website designer within 24 hours. Welcome back. What is a website? A website is a group of pages available on the internet which displays information about a person or organization, or enables a user perform some kind of action online. These pages available online are known as web pages, and a collection of web pages is known as a website. So in essence, what we're saying here is a website is made up of web pages, and each of these web pages are very similar to the pages of a magazine. And so there are various kinds of websites. Some talk about organizations, some talk about persons, and some allow you to perform certain functions. So for example, if you go to an e-commerce website like Jumia, you can order products. So let's take a look at samples or examples of websites. We can see Facebook, Jumia, Amazon, Twitter. Let's take a look at some examples. So an example of a website is Facebook. Now you see on Facebook that it has a lot of content. So this is called a web page. Now all these links, these are called links. So when I click on something, it takes me to another page of this same website called Facebook. So if you look at our definition, it tells you that a website is made up of web pages. So web pages are individual pages of a website, and when you combine web pages together, you have a website. Let's take a look at Jumia, a favorite website for so many people. Here you can shop. Now this is also a kind of website. It performs a function of allowing you to buy things online and get them delivered to you. So these are two examples of websites. As we go on, we'll take a look at the types of websites that we have and how to identify them. See you in the next video. So now let's take a look at types of websites. There are various ways to classify websites, but there are two broad classifications, namely static websites and dynamic websites. Now, static websites are websites that just contain information and whose content is not linked to a database. In order to change the content of such website, you have to download the website to your local computer, change it, and upload again. Examples are company websites and personal websites. So let's take a look at a static website. So this is a static website that was designed some time ago for a company that is into agriculture. Now, you will notice that it has moving parts. So why is it called static website? Okay, it's called static website because in order to make a change to this website, I have to go to the server where this website is hosted, download this file, for example, this first page, and then make a change directly within a code and upload it back. Let's take a look at how this is done. So you're going to learn about something called cPanel, which is where the website files that you create will be stored. Now, the page we just looked at, which is this page, this is it right here. It's called index.html. So in order to make a change to this website, I would have to right click here and click edit, and then get something like this, and then make a change. And so when I make a change, it appears here. So I either have to download this file to my personal computer or make a change right here on the server before the site can be affected with that change. Now you can see that this is quite a cumbersome process. This is why this site is known as static. It is not tied to a database. I can't log in somewhere and make a change. So we'll see how this contrasts with the second type of website, which is known as dynamic websites. Let's move on. So what are dynamic websites? Dynamic websites are websites whose contents are linked to a database, and you can log in to change things without having to first download it to your computer or re-uploading. An example is the WordPress website we are about to build in this course. Others are Facebook, Instagram, etc. So now let's take a look at a dynamic website. Now this is a dynamic website for a client that I designed some time ago. Now all of this content is linked to a database, and I can log in here. I can log in here to make changes to this website, and all the changes will be available instantly. I don't need to go to cPanel to go and make changes to code, just like this place. So this is the kind of website we'll be learning how to create using WordPress. So to sum it all up, static websites are sites that you have to make changes to directly from a server, or you download it to your computer and make changes. Dynamic websites, you can log in and make changes right on the site without having to download anything. So a simple way to identify or distinguish the two of them is that on dynamic websites you'd most likely have a login, but in static websites there is no login. So now let's move on to the next part of our course.